Are Christian churches leading people away from God? Let's talk about white church and black church. Hey, what's up? It's Patrick. It's Rose via Fire. And I pray this message reaches who it needs to reach. So let's talk about, are Christian churches leading people away from God? I'm going to talk about white church and black church. So let's just get started with the message. You know what I'm saying? Um, where do I even start, bro? Like, white church and black church. Like, people don't see nothing wrong with that, bro. You know what I'm saying? People don't see nothing wrong with white church, black church. All this division within the churches. And then look though, you got some black people out there, they be like, oh, you know, I can't stand the energy of black church. I gotta go to something a little bit more toned down. I gotta go to white church. What is going on, bruh? It's like, man, it's like these Christians, bro, and the whole Christian churches, bro, they claim the name of God, but all they do is misrepresent God, bro. So is Christian churches leading people away from God? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. There's over 300,000 churches in America, bro. I had to do some research before I did the message, bro. There's like over like 300,000 churches, bro. And I've been to white church and I've experienced how they be watering down the gospel. Just like the black church be watering down the gospel. It's just that when it comes to a lot of black churches, they are more hollering and more, the energy is like more, they hollering, they shouting, they doing all this stuff, pretty much giving God fake praise, you know what I'm saying? And what happens is, these people be thinking that God don't see through the fake praise or something. It's like it's become a comedy clown show, bro, in these churches, bro. These churches done turned into comedy, bro, at this point, bro. This stuff is not real, bro. This stuff turned into comedy, bro. That's why it's led so many people away from God, because some people, they start to open their mind. They like, bro, this stuff is comedy. They repeating the same exact sermons every single Sunday. They repeating the same exact sermons every pagan Sunday, and they talking about the same exact messages, keeping you comfortable, keeping you coming back. And then some of these some of these preachers, they be writing these books, and then they talking about, oh, this is how many members I have in my church, bro. This stuff, bro, these people are just preaching for emotions so more people could stay in their church or come to their church. This stuff is a business. This stuff is not about speaking the truth. These people don't care about God's will. This stuff is just watered down business. That's all it is. Preach to their emotions, don't tell them nothing, and then see what happens from there. Has this stuff really led people away from God? Yes. Because first of all, it has misrepresented who God truly is. These churches and these Christians, bro, Christianity, they claim the names of God, but at the same time, they not representing the real God. They don't even care about the real God. They don't even care about God's will. They claim the names of God, but they not representing God's will. That's why there's so much deception and so much like watered down nonsense that's going to lead souls to hell. Over 300,000 churches, right, in America, and souls are still not getting saved. Souls still not getting saved, bro. And are black churches keeping the black community poor? I can't even speak. Are black churches keeping black communities poor? Even if you do say pure, they ain't bringing no purity to the community. You know what I'm saying? They ain't bringing, bro. You got these churches covering up the whole block. Tupac says something like this. Like, even Tupac knew, bro. And Tupac knew this a long time ago, bro. Tupac knew this a long time ago. But yet people today, they still don't get it, bro. Tupac knew this a long time ago, bro. You got these churches covering up the whole block, but you got people struggling out here, bro. Where's the deliverance? Where's the power of God over these churches? Where's the healing of God? It's non-existent. Non-existent. Where's the power of God in these black churches for real? Non-existent. Where's the power of miracles, man? You know what I'm saying? Real power, real anointing, real deliverance. Where is that? It's non-existent. at all. It's not existent at all, bro. You know what I'm saying? So these people be going to these churches, paying their tithes and offerings and all this stuff, putting money in the basket just to promote a churches that's watering down the truth. You're not supporting God, bro. When you tithe and offer to these churches, you're not supporting God. You going against God, matter of fact. You tithing and paying tithes and offerings to these churches, you are literally going against God. See, that's the brainwashing. Or you think just because you're in church and you're giving your money to the church, you think you elevate in God's kingdom. You are not. Because these churches is designed to water down the truth. These churches be funded by the system, funded by the wicked government that is against the truth. These churches don't even care about God's will. They don't even care about telling you the real truth. These people be preaching in circles every Sunday. And then on top of that, the stuff that they teach you in 40 years, you could learn from a real follower of God in like 5 minutes. All the stuff that they teach you in church for 50 years, you could learn all that stuff in a real follower of God, bro. You could listen to a message from a real follower of God, and they'll tell you more truth in 5 minutes than these churches would tell you in 50 years. But yet these people be comfortable in these churches, bro. Bench warming. White church is watering down the truth just as much as black church is watering down the truth. And then on top of that, what is all this segregation, bro? What is going on? What is all this segregation too, though? Not only is they both watering down the truth, what is this segregation too, though? That's what we're trying to figure out. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're trying to figure out. And why, bro, it's so much. Why is these churches be still having up all these white Jesus paintings? What is going on, bro? When the whole world know that Jesus black. Oh, it's not about his skin color. It is not about his skin color, but let us keep up the images of white Jesus, though. You know what I'm saying? And then you a grown person in church getting watered down, all this watered down truth. Getting lies, bro. You getting lied to, bro. Like, you getting lied to. They watering down the truth. They telling you just a little bit. And then on the back end, they tell you a bunch of lies, bro. But yeah, you're sitting there, zero discernment at all, bro. Zero discernment. Zero discernment of what's going on, bro. Zero discernment. Everybody in the church is quiet. The whole audience is quiet. And the only person talking is a preacher. Preacher watering down the whole truth, bro. Zero community, bro. What going on? It's like the preacher is like the one they looking up to. Oh, look at them. They speaking the truth. They speaking zero truth, bro. Trying to tell you what I know. But, yeah, man, like this whole black church, white church, you know, some black people be like, oh, you know, like, I just like the toned down energy in the white church, so I'm just going to go to white church instead of black church. And then some people be like, oh, you know, like some people may prefer black church. What is all this separation? And then on top of that, they both watering down the truth. So what is going on? What is going on? You know what I'm saying? Well, like, people don't see no issues. But that's the thing, though. Like, people do not care enough to correct issues. They don't care. When it comes to God, people don't care enough to correct the issues. But when it comes to worldly things, oh, people will stand up real quick and correct issues. But when it comes to the things of God and how people is playing with God, bro, nobody's standing up to correct issues. See what, hey, bro, what's going on? Black church, white church, what's going on, bro? What is all this segregation and division? So are we speaking the same truth, or like is there like the white truth and the black truth? Like, what's going on for real, bro? What is all this? Where's all these terms coming from? Where's all these separations coming from? And then on top of that, both churches, bro, is watering down the truth. And then this is why God told me to leave all these churches behind, bro. Man, when God told me to leave these churches behind, I left that stuff behind. So is these churches really leading people away from God? Yes, they are. Is Christianity leading people away from God? Yes, it is. When you really think about it, because some people, bro, I'm gonna keep it real. Some people, they just have They just have logic and common sense. They have discernment, bro. They just be like, bro, something is not adding up. You got all these churches, but souls is not getting saved from hell. You got all these churches, but zero deliverances is happening. You got all these fake miracles and fake healings in these churches. These churches playing Hadouken in the church, swinging the coats and suits and all type of stuff. Everybody falling, everybody dancing. Paid actors, for real. These people acting. Where's the miracles like in the Bible time, for real? Like, these people is acting in church. Or let me just wave my coat or my jacket, everybody gonna fall. Oh my gosh, we are falling. It's the power of God. What power of God is this in a pagan church? What power of God is this in a pagan church, bro? When the last time God's power was manifest in a pagan church? Or let me just wave my coat, everybody gonna fall, bro. On the back end, I give you $50 for each person who fell, bro. What going on, bro? Either these people is getting paid or something going on, bro. Because ain't no way these people is not actors. They might even be doing that stuff for free. That's even worse. You fall, you a grown person falling, the preacher swing they suit, you falling, and you a grown person, you ain't getting paid for that? At least get paid, at least $50. You gotta pay me $50 to fall, at least something, like $0 to fall? To fall? A grown man falling for $0? How are you falling for $0? And then people be, this is what really like, really just crazy. People be getting on planes, bro, to go to these popular churches. Just because the church is praised and the preacher is popular, let me get on a plane to go to this church. You spend all that money on plane tickets, all that stuff, back and from, just to get a watered down preaching of nothing, just nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this preacher is speaking the truth of all time. What truth are they speaking? Man, I listen to that stuff for 5 seconds. I'd be like, bro, no hardcore truth is being spoken here. I don't even have to get on the plane to get there, bro. I'm already knowing nothing is being spoken. Oh my gosh, they speak. It's because they sound like they speaking. You know, people are so gullible. People are so brainwashed. They sound like they speaking because they know how to raise their voice and add emotion and the Lord is crying out. They know how to do like theatrics with their voice. That's all they doing. They ain't doing nothing for real. These people is actors. They acting with their voice. And the Lord is calling the nations to repent. And the repentance turned into a butterfly. These people is paid theatrics. They don't know how to speak from the heart for real. They speak with the rhythm. They speak with the cadence. This stuff is like movie acting. You want to know the type of people who speak with the rhythm and the cadence? People who acting. Bro, when you're speaking in real life with a real person, you're speaking just like me. You speaking just like me. You ain't trying to like, you know what I'm saying? You ain't trying to like finesse and trying to like say stuff. Trying to sound as though you're saying something. These people be preaching for 5 hours or 4 hours. I don't know how long they be. Some of them be like, oh, I'm about to end the sermon. And then they continue on for an extra 2 hours. Talking about absolutely no depth. They speak in absolutely zero depth. There is zero depth to these sermons, bro. 9 times out of 10 of these sermons, zero depth. But yet these Christians, they love, this is what these Christians love to do. They love to say, oh, my preacher he has depth. He's speaking the real truth. And then the other Christian is going to be like, no, bruh, my preacher has the real truth. They speak in the real depth. And then the other Christian is going to be like, nah, bro, my church is the one speaking the real truth. The other Christian is going to be like, no, it's my church that's speaking the real truth. What type of division is going on in the kingdom, bruh? No, your preacher is not speaking the truth. My preacher is the one speaking all the truth in the cosmos. No, your preacher is not speaking the truth. My preacher is the best. Your preacher is not the best. My preacher is speaking the truth. Your preacher is a false prophet. Mine is the real one. See the nonsense that's going on in these churches, bro? Do you see the nonsense? But then I'm zooming out the picture and I'm like, bro, all these preachers all these preachers done sold out. All these preachers done watered down the truth. I'm zooming out from the picture and I'm seeing everything for what it is. All these preachers fake, bro. All these preachers that sold out, all these preachers compromising, all these preachers that watered down the truth. You might find maybe one in a million, maybe one in a million. Straight glitch in the matrix. But majority of these people, they so used to the watered down gospel, to whereas they think that the watered down gospel is the truth. Because sometimes it's the parents that be raising their kids into religion. The parents be raising their kids into this religious brainwashing. So by the time the kid grow up, all they heard was religious watered down stuff. So by the time the truth comes to them, they don't know how to understand it. They think they know the truth. By the time the truth hits them, they can't accept it because they think they already know the truth, bro. You feel what I'm saying? But let me look at my notes, bro, with this white church, black church stuff. See what's going on. Yeah, like I was saying, I see why God told me to leave these churches years ago. I don't attend no church, bro. I just follow God's will, and I follow God's plan for my life. I just do God's will for my life. I follow God's plan for my life, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? I'm really out here building for God, bro. You know what I'm saying? But, and people don't understand what's wrong with it. Oh, black church, white church, what's wrong with that? Oh, my preacher better than your preacher, what's wrong with that? People don't see what's wrong with that. It's like it's like people not even speaking up for real. Like people don't even see what's wrong with it. If people don't see what's wrong with it, then that's the problem entirely within itself. The inability to see what's going on is the problem. But that's pretty much everything I just wanted to tell y'all, man, on this message, man. Peace.